Let's kick this off then. So my name is Alex, and I am the development manager at ICAx, and ICAx is the innovation hub at ICA-gruppen. Very short about me. I've been working with online and retail for about 15 years, last 3 years at ICA. Somewhere there in the middle, I also found time to do the entrepreneurial trip. And actually, I was on stage at UPPSTART in 2015, and I will always remember that. But that's a totally different story. So let's kick this off instead. I'm just going to start by saying that this could actually be the shortest keynote ever. It would only need me to say that we need you and we enjoy working together with you. That's how and why we are embracing startups. But since I have 20 minutes, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. That story started exactly 14,652 hours ago. Maybe anyone in the chat can have an idea what happened there. The response is overwhelming. Well, what happened is that COVID struck. And basically, from one day to another, it changed everything. In many industries, of course. But in ours, it really changed. Nothing was normal anymore. And I mean, who could think that toilet paper would become the hottest item in town? I mean, I sure couldn't. I didn't see that coming. And the supermarkets, we were really forced into new ways to operate. Suddenly, we had to reduce human contact when people were buying. We were looking at extended open hours and also things like guest counters. I'm sure maybe some of you here had to pick up an orange when you were going shopping, and you had to carry that orange around for the whole shopping experience. And then after you paid, you put it in a basket, and the next person could pick up that orange and go shop. So, I mean, there were a lot of stuff going on, a lot of innovation on different levels, both digital and analog. And also, I mean, we found the need to push more to the digital, the home delivery. But how could we do that when suddenly the first available slot for home delivery was 3 weeks away? I mean, nobody wanted to get their food in 3 weeks. So really, we need to move the digitalization of supermarkets about 2 years ahead in a couple of weeks. And looking back now, I mean, we're still in the pandemic, but let's look back at 2020, what happened. This is amazing. I mean, online sales doubled, 100%. Grocery bag pickup, 200%, and home delivery, 60%. I mean, how do you as an organization deliver this? I'm sure if I would have asked our CEO or any CEO in this industry 1 year ahead, how much time do you need to double your online sales? They wouldn't have said within 1 year. I can promise you that. But it did happen. And I can honestly say that without the ideas and courage of entrepreneurs like you, this would never happen. And the fact that we at ICA and also, I mean, our colleagues in this industry were already having these discussions with you about the future. If we wouldn't have done that, we would probably have collapsed too. And like I said, we were already there. We were already having those discussions. We were watching actively when this happened, 100 startups. I, myself, and my team were having face-to-face meetings regularly with 25 different startups. And we already had 5 projects like ongoing within this. And I think this is the answer why we could deliver this. And I think it sums it up with one word. The only way to manage stuff like this is adaptability. And if we think about adaptability, what is adaptability really? It's I say that it's like to build, measure, and to learn, and to do it fast. And basically, that's everything that you guys do. That's what the startup community stands for. And if you look at the other way, it's also everything that large organizations that myself come from, we are not. That's why ICAx started in 2017. And I'm sure that's why all the innovation initiatives on other retailers and the grocery stores started. And the first thing we did was to adopt your lean methods, your ways of working. I mean, just to enable us to connect, because we couldn't even talk before, because we had this big, hairy thing moving very slowly in one direction that we couldn't touch it because we were so scared that something would happen. So we needed this. But I mean, don't get me wrong, we also have a lot to offer, of course. I mean, we have the stability, the infrastructure, physical stores. We have loads of customers. And I mean, coming from the startup industry myself, this is exactly, I know this is exactly what you are looking for. So how are we set up at ICAx then? We use this because it's really analog and nice, but it really describes our three main tools. And it's, I mean, mainly it's about research. We do a lot of research, always ongoing, internal and external. And since I'm situated at ICA-gruppen, we have a lot of companies below us. We know ICA Sverige with all the stores. We have the Apoteket, we have the bank. So, I mean, we also do a lot of innovation cross OPCO, and I like that. And we do this innovation together with other companies, institutions, startup hubs. It's about finding like interesting segments for us to dive into. And in these segments, we find you, the startups, and the innovation. And when we find something interesting that we want to dig deeper into, we partner up with you. I used to, I mean, I always joke about I'm the only development manager in Sweden that hasn't got a development team. But I kind of like that because it challenges me to build like mixed teams with startups, with entrepreneurs, with the people from ICAx to deliver stuff. And sometimes it's just experiments. Sometimes it works out really good and we get real projects. And in the third tool we can also do partnerships and investments in really interesting startups. I just want to put that out there now. So the customer behavior is, of course, rapidly changing right now, especially within supermarkets. It's picking up speed. I mean, this is something that started a long time ago, or maybe not that long, but around 2016, 17. But it's been like supercharged now the last 2 years. And the consumer behavior is being driven by 3 key areas, digital trends in these areas. And it's convenience, quickness, and cost. And in convenience, it's, I mean, online shopping is always available for almost everything else in the world. Customers are now expecting the same and the same customer experience also in grocery shopping. And I know that we are a bit late with this compared to other retail companies, but we're really picking up speed now. And talking about speed, the quickness, people want to shop anywhere, anytime. They want to choose if they pick up the groceries themselves, if they get them delivered. I mean, they want to be quick. And the cost, I mean, there are a lot of new companies coming in now, cutting costs, challenging the big ones. But I think that's good because I think the transparency around the cost is better than ever now. It's easier for customers to, what do you call it? Jämföra. Okay, sorry. Yeah. And I think that's also like driving this. We have to be better all the time. Compare. Thank you. So let's dig into some of the trends that I see right now in supermarkets in general. I think this is interesting. First one is, of course, the eco-friendly trend. And there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here on all companies. But at ICA, we, for example, have grown fungal protein in stores. So you could, you can produce it anytime, anywhere. Farming is also really happening right now. We have a lot of ICA stores that grows their own salads. And we're doing a project together with a startup right now called Y-Waste. That is about the wasteless store. It's AI recommendations in store. So, for example, if something is getting old, you can get a recommendation that this sausage is being old in 2-3 days. Maybe you should chop it up and do ready food of it instead and serve. And by doing that, we have reduced 40% food waste in the 5 stores that we are checking right now with that. This one, this is also a bit of a funny one, actually, because, I mean, with the explosion of online sales, how do we get people to the stores? We have to do more, be more fun. Here we're working with the Göteborg Symphony Orchestra. I mean, we put up pods outside. People could go in, listen to classical music before a shopping experience. And I mean, we had really good results from that also. Of course, technology as a driver. I mean, that's why I'm here today, very much, because we see this is a very, very big area, and it's also interesting both for store efficiency and for customer facing. So if you dig into store efficiency, it's like inventory management or store layouts, how to follow the flows. And for customers, of course, more frictionless shopping experience. You just put things in a basket and or in the cart, and it scans itself. Self-checkouts, they've been around for a long time, but they're also getting faster and smarter, of course. Kalle, I'm gonna go to the chat in the end, so I will answer the questions later. So, and the last trend that I'm going to talk about is also a thing that I think is really interesting, because I'm heavily invested in this right now at ICAx, and it's the unmanned store, 100% contactless, always open. And I think this is especially interesting when you look at smaller cities. I mean, there's going to be challenges to open this in the middle of Stockholm. 24 hours, go in, scan whatever you want and pay and go. But in smaller communities, I think this could like save it. Some places, they can't even buy food after 7 o'clock in the evening. So they have to go 10, 15 kilometers to do that. So small cities, it's about accessibility. It's about openness for all. And when I say unmanned, I'm not only talking about stores. I'm talking about everything from like vending machines. You could put a vending machine somewhere and you could maybe scan something. You get the inventory in your phone. You click and you pay with your phone. You don't have to touch anything. And the food comes out. That's like the first step. Second step is part of store. You don't have to open your whole store. You can open just a dedicated part of it. Third is, of course, you can open full store. And we have many stores trying that today. And the last thing that also now is being explored is the external containers that there are a lot of other companies also doing now in Sweden that we're also getting into. So I think, I mean, these trends, I think they really sums up a lot of the things that, maybe that's an answer already to your question, Kalle. These trends, we're really looking into them. So I started this with a question. The title for this is, so how and why are supermarkets embracing with startups? And I think what I'm trying to communicate is that, especially, the how is, it's in our everyday work. Since we do continuous research all the time, we always encounter startups, and we meet them at hubs. We meet them together at like networking places, co-working places. And I think this is about us staying adaptable. And it's the only way for us to stay adaptable is to jack in with your ecosystem. And the why, I think that's, self-explanatory. We need it to stay ahead. We need it to be innovative. You can't think of everything yourself. You have to partner up and work with the smartest people that do what they do. We want to learn. We want to learn, redo. That's how we operate. And also, I think one of the big whys here is not only for us. We also do it to give back to you. Especially I know ICA, we're big part of the community. So we want to have this connection. And I'm just gonna end this by saying that I think adaptability, that word, adaptability always win. And that's a Darwin quote. It's not the most intelligent or the most best cut out that wins. It's the one with the most, the best ability to adapt. And that's it. Let's see if I have, no. So I'm going to be part of the metaverse Q&A, but I'm going to stick around here for about 2 or 3 minutes if you have any questions in the chat first, or otherwise we will hook up in the metaverse. It was nice talking to you. I'm going to check the poll. Sorry. Let's see. Oh my God, 85%. Oh yeah, good. 75% physical supermarkets. And I think that's actually, we talk a lot about online, but in the bigger picture, online is only like 6 or 7% of our total sales. So I think this correlates quite good with that. Also bearing in mind that I guess this is an audience that's very tech savvy. So yeah, some in the chat. Omar, we can take that in the Q&A, or maybe you and me can set up a meeting and talk about that. I'm open to that. It's about, indoor farming was the question. My thoughts on personalization. We had a theme at ICAx called like health and personalization, and there's a lot of GDPR in that area. So we are working on stuff, of course, but it's not, it's easy to talk about personalization, especially when it comes to nutrition, but the data there is also very sensitive, could be. So I'm open to talking more about that also if you have any good ideas. Perfect. Well, I guess you all see the link, right? UPPSTART.com/Q&A. It's pinned at the top of the chat. So it's 1:15 now. I'm going to go in there. So it was nice to meet you, everyone. See you in the metaverse. I thought I was never going to say that. Cool.